her actions, not words, showed me that she had a secret agenda, another agenda, which was to use me to obtain a green card. I was at work and my mom texted me. She sent me a picture of my wife. I sent you that picture in my mother's text message. That was on WhatsApp. She said, this is Diane's daughter. Diane is Cayenne's mom, my wife's mom.
Okay.
And they've known each other since 1994. When Cayenne was 10 years old at the time. Cayenne's mother, Diane, and brought Cayenne over to America, to Philadelphia, where we are from.
Okay.
And at the time, my mom was the woman who was in charge of a transitional house for women and children, recovering addicts. So her mother was a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And through her church, they sent her to Philadelphia to live, and they stayed in Philadelphia for about a year at the time. And her and my mom became best friends. They got really close. So my mom was going back and forth to Bermuda over the years to visit her and visit her family. And my mom became like a member of their family. She still is. So fast forward, I knew her mother. I knew her stepdad. I met them a couple times, and I met her younger brother once when he was a child. I never met Cayenne. I never met her two older sisters. She has twin sisters in Bermuda, 10 years older than her. I never met them in person. I spoke to one of them. So fast forward, I'm living in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm at work. My mother texts me. She tells me that this is Diane's daughter, sent me a picture, and I'm in shock because the woman is so freaking pretty. So I called Cayenne, my wife, called her up. We hit it off. Everything's good, conversations, everything. And we're trying to get to know each other. During the conversations, she never would tell me any specific details about where she lived. Like, I knew she's from Bermuda, but she never told me. She never gave me an address. She told me her father's name, her mother's name. She never gave me her siblings' names. I knew her younger brother's name. He was Charles Jr., but her siblings on her mom and dad's side, the older ones, I never got their names. I never got a physical address where she used to live in Bermuda. So we talked and talked and talked. Come to find out, she wants to get married right away. And I'm like, right this soon? Like, because I didn't notice, the urgency. She's like, what? So I said, well, when? She was like, we was thinking about, I think she said either September or October. I said, damn, this was August. It was like early August. And so it's leading up. So I'm like, let's pick a date. All right. She got in touch with the judge. She found the judge in Atlanta, Fulton County. She said the judge can do this such and such date, which we chose September 13th. So, we both financially strapped because I got bills, rent. She has bills and rent. Her two younger kids are living here in Atlanta with her. And at the time they were 18 and 12. We chose that date. I told her, she bought me a little ring from Amazon. Nice ring. I still got it. I bought a plane ticket, saved up some money, flew to Atlanta on September 11th. I stayed with her for 3 days. And on the first day I got there, she had a printed out form of the I-130 alien petition for alien relative. And I didn't know that I was the petitioner and the sponsor. When you marry an alien relative, I didn't know that. Because I don't know the laws or the rules of immigration. I never had to deal with them. So she's explaining that to me. And then she's explaining to me that the urgency for her getting married now was because she was here on a 5-year student visa that expired in June. And she was afraid that the student visa, that immigration would enforce her to leave. She didn't know when they would do it. So, and she said she had exhausted trying to get an extension on the visa or another visa, anything through immigration to get her for them to let her stay. They wouldn't do anything. I found out I'm the sponsor, so I'm filling out this form as the petitioner. I got to fill out this form. She didn't want to sign it. I never signed it. We finished most of it. I finished the part about sponsoring her daughter, who was 18. Her 12-year-old son was born in the United States. She was once here before. When she came here about 14 years ago to study cosmetology and hairdressing and all that type of stuff, and beautician, and she was a massage therapist. She did all that when she came here before her son was born. So fast forward. I'm there for 3 days. We on Tuesday, the 13th of September, we meet the judge in the park, and her 18-year-old daughter is with us. Her son is in school. He's in middle school, and the judge is there. We do the ceremony. We exchange rings. I didn't get her a ring because I couldn't afford to get her a ring that fast. She used a ring that her father had given her for her 21st birthday. It was a gold ring with 3 different colored diamonds in it. And she used that for the ceremony. Her daughter took pictures. We paid the judge, which was $150. I paid for half. She paid for half. And soon after the ceremony was over. We went and ate, took her out to breakfast, whatever. And then we went back she drove her daughter home. We went to breakfast, and we drove to the courthouse. And that's when we filed the marriage certificate. We paid for that. Well, I paid for that. And then I paid for 2 copies. And they were to be mailed to her house in 45 days. So we never consummated the marriage. Um, Next morning, when I was on my way to flying home, early in the morning. She lives close by the airport in Atlanta. Uh, I go in her room, sit down on her bed, dressed, ready to go, packed up. She asks me, "Am I going to continue to wear my wedding ring?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna wear my ring," and I stuck to that promise. So I asked her, "Are you going to wear your ring?" She says, "No, I'm not going to wear that ring." I'm like, "What? What do you mean you're not going to wear it?" Then she tells me, then I ask her, "Well, when am I going to meet when are you going to introduce me to your family and your friends here in Atlanta and your family in Bermuda?" She said, "No, I'm not going to do that." So that's when the my gut feeling that she was trying to trick me, use me, hit me. It hit me, and that's when I got mad. I didn't say anything. I got up, left her bedroom, went and walked in the dining room, sat down. She came in there and said to me in her dining room, mad because I walked away, and said, "There are some things that you have to get together first before we could go further." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "That's not what you and I discussed prior to this."
Right.
I said, "You just made all my gut feelings, my gut fears come true." So she talked some other stuff. I left, kissed her goodbye, hugged her daughter, got on the plane, went home. Um, Now over the coming weeks, everything was cool, but soon our communication started to get less and less because she wasn't reading my text messages, and we only communicated through WhatsApp. She was blocking me on all the social media apps. She blocked me on TikTok in time. She had 3 Instagram accounts at the time. She blocked me on them. She blocked me on Twitter. She deactivated her Facebook account. She did all this stuff, And then our communication became less and less. And so I was getting mad. And I was like, what the heck is going on? She giving me all this crap. Then I found out that she never even told her son, who was 12 at the time, she never even told him we were married.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, yeah. So I said, that really made me mad.
Yeah, she had no intentions on moving further than the day you
No.
guys got married.
Yup. So um telling me she loved me and all this other stuff. And she would, any question that I asked her, she would never answer. Never. So as time went on, our relationship became sour and became less, was arguing more, just mainly through text messages. And I started to research the patterns of immigrants who use Americans for green cards, and all the patterns were the same. So I
Yes.
started to look up immigration lawyers, and I would look up the immigration lawyers on YouTube, and I would listen to the things that they had to say. Then I would read the comments of people who commented under these videos. And um, fast forward, December, was it December? That was December. I first contacted immigration and spoke to someone on the phone. She told me what I should do. And she told me, she said, put in the tip form, report her. All of this is on her. Um, and then at that time, her and I wasn't speaking for like 2 months. She thought she still had a good relationship with my mother. And at that time, from those few months, my mom couldn't stand her. She didn't want nothing to do with her.
As she
Um,
should.
yeah. So uh, let me see. Let me see. December. I had already put the tip form in. I had also contacted immigration again, an agent, and I spoke to them online.
Okay. When you
They
say you spoke to them online, you mean via email?
not email,
Like on chat?
yeah, on chat, on chat.
Okay, so wait, go back. You submitted the tip form online. What year or month
This
approximately?
was the first time I did it was December of 2022. The first
Okay.
time I submitted, I reported her on the tip form.
Okay, and
Um,
this was how
mhm,
many months you guys got married in September?
three, 3 months,
3 months after you got married. Okay, so
3 months.
you
Yeah,
discovered that okay, she's a fraud. Let me go ahead
yeah,
and report her online using the
yes,
tip form in December.
yes,
Okay, so
yes.
when you chatted with them
Okay.
online, when was
Mhm.
this?
Um, this was, I just chatted with them the first time was in December. It was in
Okay.
December. So I spoke to the immigration in it was, maybe it was November when I spoke to immigration. I got to go back and look at it. But I spoke to the immigration agent the first time. Her name was Angela. I spoke to her on the phone. She told me to use the tip form, report her. I did.
Okay.
So then after I did that, I chatted with an agent on through the chat. They told me to that she had submitted the I-130. She submitted another I-130 to on November 5th, 2022. And they gave me the receipt number. And then the person said, what I told them the story. They said, um, here's the address to the processing station, which is in Nebraska. Write them a letter telling them what's going on, telling them you want to withdraw the application because you're the petitioner, you're the applicant,
Right.
technically, and you're the sponsor. So I did that.
But when
Um,
before you did write the letter, when they let you know that she had sent in an I-130 that clearly didn't even have your signature technically because
right,
you guys weren't even talking. So she
right,
fraudulently submitted a I-130 petition
yep,
on your behalf. That's a big thing to be careful for you guys when you first find out that you've been defrauded, that you're a victim of immigration fraud. You need to be contacting immigration and letting them know if anything comes in, it's not from me, because these fraudsters, these con artists will submit documents and they will sign your name. I've seen it before 1,000 times. They will sign your name and submit this and they'll pay for it. Okay, even the poorest con artist will find a way to get money to pay for those documents to be sent, and those petitions to be sent in on your behalf. And here it is, you won't even know. So in your case, Sean, you weren't even on speaking terms technically with this person,
Right.
and here she is going signing his name on documents that he did not approve, he did not send in on his behalf. So go ahead, Sean.
Okay. So okay, so let me back up. When we were on good speaking terms, September, October, we were still cool. She had no money towards the petition, which was $575. I was giving her money.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't big money, but I was giving her what I could. I still had a life to live.
Exactly.
Um, and she was behind in her rent. So I was helping her financially. Um, Now when we were on good terms, I like a dummy, sent her a picture of my birth certificate, social security card, and picture of my state ID, Texas state ID, when we were on good terms. Now I didn't know when I sent that I did not know she was going to submit the document, because in my mind, I'm the applicant. I'm like, I'm going to do it when I come back, because we planned on me coming back. In my mind, her and I had already discussed me moving in with her. When she found out, like after we got married, she did not know. I'm not sure if she knew, but she argued with me about living together. I went and tried to, I told her, this is what we have to do. She was all against it, arguing me down. Talking about some
Wow.
talking about some, what about her kids' comfort? Your kids' comfort? I said, what about my comfort? I said, listen, my lease is up in early 2023. I said, I don't plan on staying here any longer. And now that you and I are married, what the hell I want to stay here for? Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
So I had to argue with her about agreeing to let, me move into Atlanta. Okay, so as we started to get into these arguments and fights, whatever the case, that's when she said, no, I can't move there. I'm like, this chick is out of her mind. Okay, so fast forward.
Yeah.
Um, I contacted her sister, one of her sisters in Bermuda, late November. I told her sister that Cayenne and I are in fact married now. She was in shock, of course. They didn't know. She told me all kinds of stuff about Cayenne, about how secretive she is. Cayenne ran out on them. That was the last time they had seen her
Wow.
and her niece and nephew. Cayenne has no relationship with her family in Bermuda,
Wow.
except for her father. None. Whatever relationship is done, she rarely speaks to them. She's very sneaky and secretive.
Mm-hmm.
So I write the letter to the processing state office in Nebraska. I get in contact. I update the the report form on
Mm-hmm.
immigration. I updated that report form about 7 times.
Okay.
Um, Fast forward, my mother offered to let me come move here in South Carolina with her, because she asked me. She said, "Sean, I need your help. Would you mind coming here when your lease is up?" I said, "Cool." So I'm already in the process of packing my stuff in Texas and shipping them off here.
Okay.
Um, Cayenne and finally got in contact with her. She finally decided to talk. We have a reconciliation. Her birthday comes around. It's February 2nd. I buy her this nice dinner, seafood dinner, have it sent to her from a restaurant in Atlanta. February 4th come around, which is a Saturday. She's at her girlfriend's house and they having like a little party or whatever. I talked to her on the call, on the video call. I said, look, so I asked her again, listen, my lease is up in February 27th. I'm leaving February 22nd. I'm only 4 hours away from Atlanta, from South Carolina, less than an hour by plane.
Yep.
We can have a family. I want to meet your friends. I want to be introduced to your family. Like, what's up? Tell your son we married. She still refused. No. The next day we get into it. That was the last time I spoke to her. I told her, well, listen, if I can't have what I want and what I need, and for us to have this family, this marriage, whatever, then there's no marriage. We can't have anything. So I
Right.
backed off. So and during this time, I really love the girl. I really do. I care for her.
Mhm.
I didn't get married to get a divorce. I didn't get married. I married her because I care, because she's Diane's daughter. And I felt that she would be good for my life, because in the beginning, when we were in good terms, her life coaching experience and all this other stuff helped me a lot in my depression at the time.
Okay.
It helped me out of the relationship that I was in Texas. It helped me out
Do
of that,
you
because if I
think
didn't,
she might have been giving you, advice or life coaching in a way to not necessarily help you, but kind of gain your trust and
yeah,
make you kind of fall for her?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because at that
I
time you
believe,
were vulnerable, and
yeah,
I see that happen quite often as well. Con artists
hmm,
will look for somebody who may be going through something or may have
hmm,
gone through something in the past, and they will use that to their advantage because they know, okay, this person's probably going to lean on me as a crutch. So here she is, she's giving you, telling you what you need to hear at that time, but also
hmm,
making sure that she's, getting you set up for herself.
yeah,
I see
yeah,
it a lot, and I myself have been through trauma. Unfortunately, witnessing,
hmm,
the death of my little brother. It's
hmm,
something that I've been dealing with for quite some time. So
yeah,
I feel like my con artists, they fed off of that. So be careful, guys. These con artists will feed off of your trauma and your issues that you may be going through like a leech. They'll get down into your skin and suck everything out, and they will use it to their advantage. So that's what
hmm.
she was doing at that point, getting you ready and buttered up, so to speak, to fall for her.
So and so, you put two and two together. She was just biding her time until she got the green card. Um,
Yes.
so I had updated the USCIS tip form, reporting tip form,
Hmm.
7 times total. I also reported her to ICE on
Can
their
I
tip
ask, how
form,
did you go about reporting? Did you use the online system for them
the
as well?
online system,
Okay.
the online system for ICE as well. Um, I spoke to an agent, 4 agents total. 3 of them was through the chat, USCIS chat. Um, the last one told me to, okay, when I moved to South Carolina,
Hmm.
I put in a change of address card through USCIS, and oh boy, she changed them back to her address in Atlanta. Uh,
Wow.
yeah,
She's
so
very, very calculative.
she's cunning. Like my mom says, she's cunning. So she changed them back to Atlanta. Because the application that was submitted has her address in Atlanta, it's kind of hard to navigate around that. What the agent had told me was to officially change your physical address with us, your mailing address, you have to submit an I-865 form. They're free, download it, submit that. Also, write to the processing office in Nebraska that's processing the I-130 application, the story, what's going on, tell them what she's doing, tell them what she's doing, write them another letter. So I'm in the process of that. Well, I've written a letter. I just got to mail it off. I also
Okay.
have the form. Finally was able to download the forms. I got a working printer, and I downloaded the forms twice last night. Um, I've also have a divorce attorney in Georgia. I just
Hmm.
already downloaded those forms. The final decree, I got to fill them out. I got to get them, and I also got to get that notarized.
Now, let me ask you, are you seeking, have you considered an annulment versus divorce, or are you going
In
to
the
just,
beginning.
okay,
In the beginning, I did. The first divorce attorney was in Texas. He wanted to charge me all this money. I'm like, I don't have all that money. Be no $3,000 for no for that. He said, what he told me. He said it's best to just get a divorce instead of an annulment because of some type of these special circumstances. Because y'all both live in separate states. You were married less than 6 months, and immigration is involved. So he said it's best to just get a divorce. Now he could have been just saying
I
that.
can, let me just make sure I say my piece right
Go
now
ahead.
while I'm talking to you. Um, in my opinion, and from my experience, of course, getting the divorce is an easier route for any attorney, okay? And a lot of them will talk to you and say, yeah, just go for a divorce. But the underlying issue is that this person used you to stay here in the United States. So a divorce is probably going to still, be in her favor because she's just going to say, okay, we got married, we didn't work out, I get to stay here, move on with my life. Getting an annulment, on the other hand, means it never happened, of course, and at that point, you are out of status, you are illegally here. And again, I don't know, what your what your feelings are towards her staying here versus having to go back, because I know kids are involved. I know that you said the older kid was need to be sponsored, and then the other one, it was born here, so he or she should be fine. But any divorce attorney is going to say that. My attorney that I first hired, I went in and told him I want an annulment because this person, I discovered the fraud. And here in Illinois, you have 90 days from the date you discover the fraud to petition for that annulment. Okay. He then had another assistant attorney swing in and start to help with the case. And this lady was pushing me so hard to get a divorce. She's like, look, it'll be easier, it'll be cheaper, it's going to take less time. And God knows I wanted it to take less time, okay? My case took over a year. It was like a year and some months, maybe a year and some weeks to get finalized. But I told her, no, I'm going to stick to what I know is the truth. This guy defrauded me. I have evidence. I'm going to present my case. Like, I led my case. My attorneys solely went and spoke to the judge for me. Everything else was me. And I stuck to my guns. This lady told me like 7 times, Ken Troy's attorneys called again and they just said, would you guys want to just settle for a divorce? And I said no. And I told her, I'm going to politely tell you, this is my last time telling you, don't bring that to me anymore. Okay, I hired
Mhm.
you to do something. You keep trying to sway off. And yeah, you probably would make more money doing the annulment versus the divorce, but you're an attorney. If this is what you went to school for, if this is what you're good at, do
Mhm.
your job. Don't try to
Mhm.
sway me to take the easy route. So, by all means, it's not necessarily always the easiest route, but annulment versus divorce is something that I want people to always, keep in mind. Again, you can have total different intentions and just say, you know what, let's just get the divorce and get it over with because you don't want this person on your back anymore. I'm not sure if you filled out any paperwork to financially support her,
No,
but that would need to be something if you consider sticking with the divorce, maybe getting the attorney to put in that decree, who's responsible for what. And if you're not
it's in
going to
there.
be, okay, good, good. Because I
It's
don't
in
want
there.
you to be held responsible. That happens a lot, man. Like, people will get these divorces and here comes this con artist, several weeks later they're like, I need money, okay, and you have to support me even though we're not together. I conned you, I broke your heart, I stole everything from you. You still need to take
Mhm.
care of me. And I don't
Mhm.
think that's fair at all.
No. Well, when I flew to Atlanta, she had already typed out a she typed a prenup because she has two businesses.
Uh-huh.
She has her life coaching business, which she runs through Instagram.
Okay.
She also is a beautician, hairdresser, manicurist, pedicure,
I'm sorry. How can she
barber.
be a life coach but she's a con artist,
I,
ruining people's life? Okay, go ahead.
I,
Go
I
ahead.
said the same thing. I asked the same thing. Oh gosh. And she's a bad con artist too, because you couldn't even play your thing off for
Play
two
it long
years. You couldn't
enough
even
to
act right long
exactly,
enough to get what you need to get. And
exactly.
so um, desperate people do desperate things, as Nora Goodman told me. So
Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes too.
yes, yes. But as far as her staying in this country, being staying in this country even now afterwards or whatever. Oh, why I'm doing this and done everything else so far? I want justice.
Yes.
As badly as I had fallen in love with her, and I still love her, I still care about, her, but I want justice. I'm just as equally angry. There's a man
Yes.
who used to be an investigator for USCIS. He's retired. He has his own private investigation business, like you.
John. John.
John, yeah, yeah. He called me up
Yeah.
last month. He called me up. I was at work, and he said, he said, "Damn, Mr. Marchman, you did very well." He said, "You did everything that you were supposed to do. You don't need me." He said, I would have, he said, if you had hired me early, he said, if you had hired me, everything you've done, you'd have paid me for. He said, the only time you may need some help is if she lies and accuses you of abuse. But I can't see her doing that because you only seen her one time and y'all live in separate states. So
Right.
there's no abuse. He told me she has a lot going against her for forging my name, filling out the I-130,
Yes.
forging my name. He said that you did everything that you're supposed to do. I got in touch with the judge who married us, and she couldn't give me no advice because she's a judge.
Right.
She doesn't practice law, so uh, but she remembered us. Um, I mean, Cayenne, my wife, she refused to mail me my copy of my birth certificate, not my birth certificate, of our marriage certificate. I paid for two, one for
Okay.
her, one for me. She refused to mail me my copy. Um,
Because she's using it to for every possible way she can use
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So, um, far as what I'm doing, what John Sampson told me to do, he said, just get your divorce and get out from under this. You did everything you could do. Um, so what I'm going to do, my next step is I'm going to mail this I-865 off. I'm also going to send this letter to the processing station in Nebraska that's processing the I-130.
Mm-hmm.
They do have my first letter. They do have that. I sent that letter to them 3 times. Third one was when I moved here to South Carolina, and I sent it
Mm-hmm.
certified. But
Yep.
the agents did tell me that they have it. I'm also going to send a copy of the second letter
Okay.
that I'm going to send to the processing station. I'm going to send that to the consulate general in Bermuda. She's an American. I'm going to send it to their ambassador. I'm also going to send it to the office in Washington, D.C., and I also have an upcoming appointment with USCIS. So I'm just
Okay.
waiting for them
Tell
to
me more about
email
the
me or phone
appointment.
me.
Tell me more about the appointment.
Well, it hasn't happened yet. But when I spoke to the agent, I asked them, I need to make I want an appointment to speak to an agent as soon as possible. So
Mm-hmm.
they said from this date forward, to be within the 30 days. So they said just look out for the phone call, put the
Mm-hmm.
phone call in your contact, the number, and look out for either the email or the phone call starting from 7:30 a.m. within the next 30 days. So that could be any day.
Make sure you stay on top of immigration, more specifically ICE, because they are the people who are going to enforce that removal. Actually, there was a recent case. I'm going to get that information and I'm going to make sure I link it for you guys. But there was a case recently where a Jamaican guy killed his American wife over here in America. He killed her and then he skipped back to Jamaica, but they went and got his behind. They went and got him right from over there and brought him back
Mm-hmm.
so that he can, face trial and justice can be served. In my case, That is the most red-handed case. Subpoenaed records. This guy is literally telling people he's leaving me to get a divorce and move to New York after he gets his papers. Okay, several times he said it in the text messages.
Stupid. He was
Several
stupid.
several times.
Right.
Okay, he had the new child on the way with a whole another woman I didn't know anything about. And
Right.
then the topper off was just the amount of prostitutes that he purchased while he was here, living in my house, claiming to go to work every day, and he's out
Wow.
buying prostitutes with the money that he's supposed to be using to help take care of our family. We have a daughter
Nasty.
together. We have a
Right.
daughter
Right.
together,
Right.
and
Right.
to this day, I've not received not $1 for her from him. Okay. Will I allow her to
Wow.
see him or talk to him? Absolutely not. Because the creep level, I have
Mm,
a degree
mm-hmm.
in psychology, and he
Mm-hmm.
is mentally ill. For a person to
Yeah.
have to, you become obsessed in a way with prostitutes, and you come home every day after touching and doing that with them, and then you want
Yeah.
to touch my baby
Yeah.
and hug. No, no, that's somebody who's sickening, and I will not allow
Yeah.
any. That's kind of like me saying, yeah, Michael Myers, come on over here. Jason
Right.
Voorhees, come on over here and sit around my family and be with my daughter. You creep. No,
Right.
no.
Yeah. That
So
is nasty.
I won't allow her, because my mind goes farther than that. If this is somebody who is obsessed with sex like this, well, I don't know what he
Right.
would do to my child, and she's a little girl. She's a beautiful little girl, and
Right.
I would
Right.
never. And
Right.
listen, people are capable of doing things. I mean, I know you see the news, all of this craziness that happens,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
already not there all the way. He's
Right.
violent, he's abusive, he's definitely assaulted me several times, and
I
what the
seen it on
last
the.
time, yeah, the
Yeah.
last time was with when my daughter was present, and
Mm,
I couldn't do it anymore.
mm-hmm.
The case was opened on him. I finally got an assigned detective who said, "Hey, I'm the person working this case. I paid
Mm-hmm.
thousands of dollars, over 10,000, probably $15,000
Sheesh.
to get an
Wow.
annulment." Okay, because I
Wow.
knew what was going on. Mind you, the judge ordered him to pay me back $10,000. Okay.
Okay.
Is he working now? Yes, he's working under the table. Is he going to say he can afford it? Yes. But if you can afford to pay almost $19,000 for prostitutes within four
Damn.
months, you can
Damn.
afford to pay me back my money.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
they were paying. He was paying, like, we have the text. I'm going to show you more of the text, but $120 per half hour.
Damn.
180 for a full hour. And
This
this
the
was
enough.
every day. This was every day. Every single day you walk out of here
Oof.
and you're paying these prostitutes hundreds of dollars per day. And mind you, while he's paying them, he's working and conning other women for money. He's using the other women that he's dating and saying, "Hey babe, I really miss you. Do you think you can help
Yeah.
me out with some bills?" And the bills is the prostitutes, okay? That's
He's
what the bills
sick.
were.
He's
Yeah.
sick.
Now do you see why I would not allow my child
Right.
to be
Right.
around a sick person like that?
I also wanted to tell you this. After I seen some of your videos um on YouTube, and I seen, I knew he was Jamaican. So I told my mom about it.
Uh-huh.
And she's my mom's been to Jamaica a lot of times. She had
Uh-huh.
friends over there. She said, "Oh, well, that's what Jamaican men do." She said they are big on running around on their women a lot. She said
Yeah.
that's part of their culture. So I've taken steps to draw the application. I've reported her to immigration about 7 times, once to ICE. And I'm currently in the process of finalizing my divorce. Um, and
And moving on
I'm
with your life.
moving on, yeah, moving on. But I'm also going to do my best to try to warn other Americans about marrying aliens, immigrants. Stay away. Stay away. If you're going to marry an immigrant, let them be citizens already. Don't marry them before that. Never, never,
Yeah,
never.
so that's your advice to our viewers.
Yes,
If you are considering marrying someone who is not a citizen of the country you're at, then it's possible, or it's probably best to let them become a citizen on their own. There are ways for people to do the process on their own. Of course, it's quicker if they are married to a citizen. But from me to you guys and from Sean to you guys, just consider that it could possibly be a con artist, and you might not think of it at first, but after that person gets what they want, it's possible they will leave you, they will leave the kids, they will abandon the marriage, they will abandon the house, or flip it the other way, they will try to take everything from you. Okay, so you guys be careful, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Sean. I really appreciate your time. I look forward again to speaking with you because we have to follow up. We definitely need to give an update to people. They're probably going to want to know, how long the process took for you, where you are with it now, and I want to make sure that we're giving them that information. And guys, if you see something, say something. If you know about any fraud or con artists, make sure that you're reporting them too, because the more that people report these con artists, the more that they're going to get red flags on their back. And when they go to apply for something, it's not going to go through for them. Okay, so let's stick together. Okay, there's a big community of victims of immigration fraud. We have to stick together, guys.